Siemens is probably the only company that I know of that we support, other than ChargePoint, that has level 3 DC. I'll get into some of the sizing. They really get into some of the high power, really big systems, the real EV charging depots, the panoramic type charging. So they're our company, our go-to guys for level 3. Same slide as level 2. Again, market's not changing. Auto, delivery, trucks, buses, they're all looking to push these vehicles out to the marketplace. And that's going to continue. Same type of customers. Again, I deal with a lot of dealerships. They usually like a combination of level 2s, level 3s. So it's ideal when you can provide that complete package with one manufacturer. And then also look at the power distribution coming in for it. We talked about this earlier. Again, level 3, I'll focus on that a little bit more. So the inverter is inside that unit. That's why it's bigger. That's why it costs a little bit more. It's always freestanding. It's always liquid cool. We're always going to look at 480 volt 3-phase to those units. All right. Again, we can probably go out to about 300 kW with those, and they can actually go higher as they start paralleling and doing some custom work with the DC. But again, you're starting to get real quick into 6 figures as far as the unit itself. That particular connector is the CCS. Sometimes most chargers will have 2 of those couplers or ports on those bigger units, but that is specific to the DC level 3 charging. Over in the Siemens area, there's a portable DC fast charger. It's a 50 kW. You can take a look at that connector and see what that's all about. And then also has a 480 volt 3-phase plug that we use for portable applications. And we talked about this earlier about level 1, level 2, level 3. Again, level 3s are fastest charging. Under an hour, you can get up to full charge. Again, the comparison from the level 2 to level 3s, depending on the size kW unit you get into, 30 all the way up to 300. You can see what it does on the time. It's a faster charge. But just to note, a lot of electric vehicles don't like to be fast charged. It's almost like your power tools, your mobile devices, they don't like to be fast charged because what's going to happen, you'll degrade that battery quicker. In the user manual of the vehicle, you'll see that they offer different warranties. If it's fast charged all the time, the manufacturers will say 7 years, 75,000 miles on that battery. If it's level 2, trickle charge, then it's 100,000 miles, 10 years. And they know, the car's smart enough to know how many times it's getting hit with fast charge. So it's something to be known that don't fast charge these cars too much. Just use it as more or less, you want to plug in for 10 minutes to get yourself another 80 miles or so. All right. So as far as the Siemens eMobility, they again offer a plug-to-grid strategy. They get into understanding the utility side of it, the capacity side of it, coming all the way to the charger or chargers, level 2, level 3. So that's nice when you have a company that gets into that power design, it gets into that whole design build concept from the get-go. And then if you want to do any load control management, it's also nice to bring those guys in for those control strategies, all right? Rather than just looking at a couple chargers on the end of the line. So they offer the full package for us. Again, I showed this earlier, AC units all the way out, DC, out to 300 kW and even higher if we need to get into bigger applications. So this is a breakdown of the actual units. This is a 30 kW wall mount, has a pedestal option. Then you can jump into 60, 120, or 300. Again, as you go up the ladder, I can tell you right now the 300 is about $220,000 just for that box. I'm not talking labor, install or nothing, or commission or startup. But that unit at the end is $220,000. So you can see how the pricing goes up pretty quick when you get into the bigger DC fast charging units. But again, they have the flexibility in the offering to offer that kind of charging. Okay, and then again, some more units, and eventually these will all be Buy America labeled here, hopefully in the next 6 months or so, if we need to address that. Again, this is a mobile product that's a 50 kW mobile DC fast charger. It's on wheels, has a 480 volt input plug, and then a CHAdeMO connector for the connection to the car. And we have a sample of that out by the Volvo front of the car if you want to take a look at that live. But this is a nice application for dealerships. It could be AAA or any of these guys that want to get into sort of remote charging services, to offer that capability. That product for pricing point of reference is about $38,000. Okay, just to give you a point of reference for pricing. So again, I mentioned this earlier, it's always important when you talk about looking at chargers and doing power design and what kind of capacity you might have and what you need to get into. Do you have the capability to do level 3, level 2 chargers? And again, it's nice when we have a company that understands that whole power distribution side of things, that whole power design. They can come in and do an analysis of what kind of spares you have, what kind of equipment you need for any new infrastructure, work with the utility companies if they have to make sure that they've got the right service equipment coming in into whatever chargers you want to put into your system. This is an example of a product called Make Ready. So it's a self-contained panel board with a step-down transformer. You can see we have 2 level 2s and 3 level 3s chargers. So it's a nice complete package with the breakers, all the circuit protection, and then we have the utility transformer coming into this whole 3-section panel board for you. So it's very similar to the white SPX product that we have, same concept, but this is what they call the Make Ready panel board. So this is leading into our SPX out to the left. Mr. Jim, he's our SPX expert. So after the show, you want to dive into it, he'll talk to you all day long about this stuff. So it's a 1200 amp. Has the breakers there for you. Again, it's part of the power design, part of the infrastructure piece. Because chargers, you look at them, they're end devices. So you got to look at the bigger picture as far as how you're going to service the power to these units. And one thing to keep in reminder that chargers are not an energy savings device. I get a lot of calls thinking they can get utility rebates. It's not an LED lighting fixture or lamp. It consumes power, all right? So it's not an energy savings device. So this is a nice integrated self-contained package, and that could be suited to working with the utility companies out in the field. We talked about this before as far as scope of work. Again, good opportunity. There's a lot of parts and pieces to try to put these projects together. And again, always plan for your future needs. I didn't mention before, but we look at things like signage. A lot of folks are using marking paint to identify where these parking spots are. There's protection concrete bollards for some of the pedestal products. So there's a lot of accessories needed to complete that application. Again, same slide as level 2. We can be in the middle of this whole turnkey solution for you. We can sort of quarterback this whole thing through, coordinate it for you, and bring in the necessary parties to help our team try to come up with that complete turnkey. Same slide as before, active links to get out on DOE for some of the basic and incentives.